Good morning, everyone. It's time for a random Bible quote. So I'll just shake this and see what it comes up with. Where is it at? My screen's off. Shake again. Let's see. Esther 5 6. Esther 5 6. So I'll go to that and read and see what message we can pull out of it today. Okay. Esther 5 6. Okay, and as I've done before, I'll read the preface, the previous quotes before it, so we can get an idea of what's going on with Esther and see what she's really talking about. So this is Esther 5 6, verses 1 through at least 6. So it says, 3 days later, Esther dressed in her royal robes and took up a position in the inner court of the palace in front of the king's throne room. The king was on his throne facing the entrance. When he noticed Queen Esther standing in the court, he was pleased to see her. The king extended the gold scepter in his hand. Esther approached and touched the tip of the scepter. The king asked, "What's your desire, Queen Esther? What do you want? Ask and it's yours, even if it's half of my kingdom." "If it pleases the king," said Esther, "let the king come with Haman to a dinner I've prepared for him." "Get Haman at once," said the king, "so we can go to dinner with Esther." So, what I'm remembering about Esther is it's a whole story about this woman who has been brought into this land with her Israelite people. And the king, pretty much the Israelites are seen as less than in the land. So, one day she has an uncle she's talking to, and her uncle, I think his name is Mordecai. But anyway, he encourages her because he hears news that the king is looking for a wife, and he's like, hurry up and hurry up and try out to be his wife, because you could actually end up saving our people if you do that. So she's very hesitant, and but instead she chooses to obey her uncle. And in the tryouts, they prepare her for months. They get her ready, get her beautiful, get her cleaned up to perfection so that she can be presented to this king. And when she gets there, then he ends up picking her as the queen. So, off beauty, basically, I guess. But now that she's queen in this chapter, Esther 5, and now that she's queen, he's asking her, "Okay, you're my queen now, so whatever you want, I'll give it to you. So what is your desire?" And what she asks him is to have dinner with this man named Haman. And from what I recall, Haman is somebody who wants the king to. The Israelites are in their town, and that the man Haman, he wants the king to take the Israelites and pretty much just do away with all of them, kill them. But God set it up so where she is now queen, and she won't allow that to happen because she's coming to the king and asking him. That king says, "What do you want me to do for you?" And she's telling him, "Well, just have a dinner between me, you, and Haman. Let's all just sit down and eat." Because at the dinner, she wants to expose Haman. And eventually, at the dinner, the king ends up sentencing Haman to death instead of the Israelites. So she, in a sense, has saved all her people from being killed because she was obedient to her uncle who encouraged her to try out for queen, and then she made it, and she's now queen, and now she gets to have the one wish to invite her king to dinner and have it with Haman. So that's just the general sense around the whole story. But to go into it, let's go to the specific line of Esther 5 6 and see if there's anything to pull out of it. Oh, actually, I didn't even read the rest of it. It said, "Get Haman at once." That was only 5. Sorry. 6 is after this. So it says, "Get Haman at once. said the king, so we can go to dinner with Esther. So the king and Haman joined Esther at the dinner she had arranged. As they were drinking the wine, the king said, "Now what is it you want? Half of my kingdom isn't too much to ask. Just ask." So reading more, that shows me that the actual wish wasn't to have the dinner. It was to bring someone else in so that she can discuss what her wish is, which her wish will be to not let Haman go after her people and kill them. And then at the end of it all, Haman got killed instead of the Israelites. So let's focus in on the actual line, Esther 5:6, and that was this. So the king and Haman joined Esther at the dinner she had arranged. As they were drinking the wine, the king said, "Now what is it you want? Half of my kingdom isn't too much to ask, just ask." And what can we get from that? Whenever there's a subject about a kingdom or planting or anything like that in the Bible, because Jesus uses that scenario so much to describe what the kingdom of heaven is like, then it's easy to take that information and say, okay, we're talking about a kingdom here, so it's easy to relate the kingdom to my God's kingdom, which is in heaven, and he's the highest of all high kings, and he is God. So what we can do is, from that, we can relate that little part to another part where Christ is saying that, there's a section in the Bible who says this quote. It says, "Up until now, you haven't asked me for anything. Ask and you can get what you want." And pretty much you hear a repetitive, the information in the Bible repeats itself because all over it's just telling you to ask. So what we can get from that today is, what are we asking God for? We sit around and we wish and we hope and we have faith. That's great. Those are great things, all part of belief in getting anything from God or connecting with God. Faith, hope, belief, those are great. But have we actually asked? And not just, it's good to ask in your spirit, but maybe in a prayer, we can say out loud, "Oh God, I ask for world peace. I ask for no killings in the world. I ask for anyone who's kidnapped or anything like that to be free." So that's what God is pretty much. He's the king. And just like in that scenario, the king's saying, "Ask and I'll give it to you." So if we haven't asked for anything, we shouldn't really, and God is a giver. So he has the power and the right to give to you, but the things that you specifically want, he wants you to ask for them and have faith that you would get them. So that's the whole gist of it. That's the best thing to pull out of this. If you have a desire, if you have a hope, open your mouth and speak it out and say, "God, I have faith in you. I believe you. I love you. And I come to you in humbleness, and I'm asking you for whatever you're asking for." And just like this king, he gave her whatever she asked for because she was his queen. And that's about it. She saved the nation just by asking. So don't be afraid to ask. Me, I'm somebody, sometimes you get hardened in life. What do you call it? Not hardened, but you get, I don't know, you get a lot of opinion in the world is to, people see how crooked the world can be sometimes. So then they're like, I'm not asking for anything, or, something like that. Me, I've been like that too. It's something that I work on in myself because I'm not somebody who will just ask for something for free. I always feel like that I have to either pay you back in some kind of way or whatever, but that's just something I have to work on because I'm somebody who likes to give a lot too. And I don't, when the people I give to, they don't say, "You know what, you don't have to do that for me." Sometimes they do. Some people do say that. But nobody says that. But like if ever the rare occasion I'm getting something from someone, I'm like, "Oh, you don't have to do that. Thank you. I'm good." But it's just something for myself to work on because, it's good to be able to be a giver and also a receiver. But it's just then I like to give more, not just based on that I've seen people being, not just based on that I see that sometimes it can be crummy out there where people are just giving to get something. See, that is one little small reason, but it's just the point that I'm looking like God's got me and I'm good in myself. So I'm the one who gives out. But if I get something, it's like, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. So I just have to be more open to receiving. And just like that king, who knows if a king said, "What do you want?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I have everything I need." But it's good to things that you wouldn't, you know, that are probably out of your reach, then be able to ask for those things. But until then, I just always have a mind frame that I'm good in any situation, whether up, down, low, high, whatever. I've always been good, always been straight. So that is about it. Can I pull anything else out of that? That just popped in my head, so that was a good one. Um, mm, just be obedient to God. What led her to this position in the first place is because her uncle was telling her, you know, do this. When your elder or somebody is telling you something that seems respectable, don't just decline them. Listen to what they're saying, because ultimately you could be saving the whole nation. If this woman was disobedient to her uncle and said, "Uncle, I'm tired of you. You don't know what you're talking about," and just ignored everything he said, she would never try to even go for queen. She would have never been in the king's presence for him to ask, "What does she want?" And she would have never been able to save her people. But in turn, she did the whole opposite of that. And at the end of the day, she was able to take the man who was after killing her people and have him hung instead. The man was out there hanging all these, what do you call it, gallows were with nooses or whatever, getting it all lined up and prepared for it to kill people of Israel. And then instead, when they're at this meeting, when they're having this dinner, she brings the whole situation up. And the king eventually says, "Whoever is trying to do this, whoever's trying to kill your people, that person's going to be hung." And pretty much they look to the left to Haman sitting right there, and it's him. So the king already ordered it. Whoever's trying to do this to your people, get him hung. And he ends up getting hung on his own noose, pretty much, or whatever was hanging out there. His head chopped off, or whatever. However, he was planning to kill the Israelites. I'm trying to think before I go if there's anything else. Nope. One last thing, just to show you, God's king of all kings. If this king could offer his wife, his queen, half of his kingdom, then just imagine how much God is willing to give you because you're his child. So that's a good thing. This king was willing to give his half of his kingdom to his wife if that's what she asked for. And God, as our king, as our spiritual husband, he's saying, just ask me and I have it there for you to have. So just ask God for whatever you want. Believe in him. Believe that what you ask for will come to pass. And just have faith in your dreams. And eventually you will be exactly where you want to be. And with that, have a blessed Monday. Mondays aren't bad. Stop giving Monday's a bad name. Sometimes, has anyone really realized why you hate Monday? It's for no reason. Sometimes a concept gets spread around, and then you say, "Oh, I just hate Mondays." Another person says, "You know what? Monday did interrupt my sleep on weekend, so I hate Monday too." But in actuality, Monday's done nothing to none of us. Monday has given us another day to be alive, and in that, it's just another day we appreciate. Be thankful that if you go into your workplace, you have somewhere to work. Just if you ever feel unappreciative of where you work, just remember the first days that you were hired, how you were so excited to be there. So don't ever just, when you're in a place, don't ever just get so comfortable. People in relationships do that too. Don't get so comfortable where you're at, where you just say, "Oh, this relationship, I'm seeing the same old face every single day." Remember how excited you were when you had that same old face from the beginning. And if you keep doing the same things as you were, you will always have that same excitement. But if you start to slack in your enthusiasm, it's your own fault. But anyway, just appreciate Mondays. Appreciate the thing that you were appreciating at first and aren't anymore. And remember to ask. That's it. Ask, ask, ask. Bye-bye.